Hi, welcome to Let Us Seek the Lord. Today is March the 7th, and we're going to be reading from Exodus 18, 1 through 27. So let's begin reading. And Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard all that God had done for Moses and for Israel, his people, that the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt. Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he sent her back, with her two sons, of whom the name of one was Gershom, for he had said, I'm a stranger in a foreign land. And the name of the other was Eleazar, for he said, the God of my father was my help and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife to Moses in the wilderness, where he was encamped at the mountain of God. Now he had said to Moses, I, your father-in-law Jethro, am coming to you with your wife and her two sons with her. So Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, bowed down and kissed him. And they asked each other about their well-being, and they went into the tent. And Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord had done to Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, all the hardship that had come upon them on the way, and how the Lord had delivered him. Then Jethro rejoiced for all the good which the Lord had done for Israel, who had delivered him out of the hand of the Egyptians. And Jethro said, Blessed be the Lord, who has delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians and out of the hand of Pharaoh, and who has delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all the gods, for in the very thing in which they behaved proudly, he was above them. And then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and other sacrifices to offer to God. And Aaron came with all the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before God. So it was on the next day that Moses sat to judge the people. And the people stood before Moses morning until evening, so that when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did for the people, he said, What's this thing you're doing for the people? Why do you alone sit and all the people stand before you from morning until evening? And Moses said to his father-in-law, Well, because the people come to me to inquire of God, and when they have a difficulty, they come to me. And I judge between one and another, and I make known the statutes of God and his laws. So Moses' father-in-law said to him, This thing that you do, it's not good. Both you and these people who are with you will surely wear yourselves out, for this thing's too much for you, and you're not able to perform it all by yourself. Listen now to my voice. I'll give you counsel, and God will be with you. Stand before the people so that you may bring the difficulties to God, and you shall teach them the statutes and the laws, and show them which way they must walk and the work they must do. Moreover, you shall select from all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, rulers of tens, and let them judge the people at all times. Then it shall be that every great matter I'll bring to you, but every small matter they themselves may judge. So it'll be easier for you, and they will bear the burden with you. If you do this thing, and God commands you, then you'll be able to endure, and all this people will go to their place in peace. So Moses heeded the voice of his father-in-law and did all that he said. And Moses chose able men out of all of Israel, and he made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, rulers of tens. So they judged the people at all times. The hard cases they brought to Moses, but they judged every small case themselves. Then Moses let his father-in-law depart, and he went his way to his own land. Jethro said, Blessed be the Lord. I'm going back to verse 10 now. And Jethro said, Blessed be the Lord, who delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, out of the hand of Pharaoh, and who has delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all the gods, for in the very thing in which they behaved proudly, he was above them. How was it that the Egyptians had behaved proudly? Sure, they were proud in what they thought they could enslave God's people with impunity, without punishment. But what was the basis of their pride that they could ever embrace such a thought? Was it not their security that they established for themselves because of the situation in which they found themselves? The consistency with which the Nile River overflowed its banks and brought them the agricultural stability caused them to trust in the Nile's consistency. They eventually assigned a godlike status to the Nile and worshipped it as God. With each of the 10 plagues, we could make the same investigation and conclude that they'd come to worship the God of their situation that had enabled them to have such a comfortable living. They were proud of their advanced society. Their advancement in their reasoning made them worthy of subjugating other human beings to accomplish their will. How did the Lord demonstrate his superiority over all the gods? Superiority over all the gods. He judged each and every one of their gods with plagues. In so doing, he caused all Egypt to know, and even the surrounding nations to know, that he was above them. So the Lord does the same thing today. He does the same thing to the gods of our cultures. If so, how does he do that? How do you think he might do it? How do you think he might want to use you or me to explain to the people around us that the judgments that we see upon our economy or upon our land, upon the things that we see going on might be the judgment of God to get our attention, that we might turn to him, that we might seek him? How does he want to use you? How does he want to use me in that? Isn't it amazing that he wants to use us at all? But that's part of his glory. He wants us to work with him. I don't get it, but he does. And he should get all the glory. Indeed, we serve a glorious King. So speak his glory to someone today.